one case whereby the lorry, what he did, he tied and a dog, right, and then he started to drive the lorry. So it's been the dog has been harried lah.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Create Podcast. Together with me, Syira Kalai, we would like to thank our sponsors as well. Thank you so much to Langkawi Pier for being with us. And we are currently at this beautiful location called Route 77, the Harley Davidson showroom at Jalan Ampang. And today we have guests from SAFM. We have Kalai, who is the president of SAFM, and we have Syira, who is the PR officer for SAFM as well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing it. How about you?
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Great. Nice to have you here on the set here today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So SAFM is an NGO that is related to animal rights. Just for introduction, but we'd like to know like how you guys started off. So maybe Carla, can you tell us like how the SAFM started off?
Okay. We actually started when we was the Malaysian facing COVID pandemic. So during that time is we are been restricted to go out, actually during MCO, right? So what happened is we start to worried about the stray animals, especially dogs and cats. They don't have food. So because usually these dogs and cats, they will get food by the people walking around, and also restaurant is open and so on. So during that time, all the restaurants, mostly the restaurants at the kilang, all factory, all closed. So we decided. No, I actually personally decided to go and feed the dogs and cats. Then we realized that there's a bunch of other feeders as well that usually goes out and do feeding. But when we noticed that it's not a proper organized, because we don't know who cover that particular area. For example, I was feeding at Batu Cave, Kepong, and also Gombak area. So when I go out, I noticed there is other feeders as well. So what we did is we form a group called Stray Animal Feeders of Malaysia. So that time was reason we don't register. We was just doing our feeding. Then at point of time, we realized due to this MCO impact, due to this COVID impact, there's a lot of abandoned cases. So there is I can tell up to there's a sudden high rise on the cases lah. So every day I'm seeing on the newspaper, I see on the social media, people abandon the puppies, the cats because they can't take care of due to this COVID pandemic because of the financial impact. So then I realized that's not fair for the animals, because people thought that it is when they leave it, they was having this pet all this while since puppy to the dog. Then when they leave it, it can survive its own. No, actually, it's not like that, because they can't mix with the stray dogs. And after they don't even know how to find the food, because all this while human was feeding on time on the morning itself, afternoon, right? Then suddenly the stray it's become a stray dog. Then he don't know where to find actually. Then the time is COVID somehow. Where to find the food?
They're not trained to find the food.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to. Then I decided to form an NGO to fight for these animal rights. So that's why when we start up that, we receive a very good response from the public, especially when we really go wild and really raise our voice, right? So then the media start to pick up our stories, and then we get more writers coming in, more volunteers also supporting us from our back, and so that's why that's how we started SAFM.
And Syira, how do you get involved with this?
I've always loved volunteering, and I wanted to volunteer with a cause that I believe in. With the team that can dedicate towards animal rights cause. And I met Kalai online, and we was looking for volunteers, and been writing ever since for social media, for web pages, and been great volunteering.
Yes.
There's a lot of exposure, a lot of networks that and also learning a lot of things about animal rights in the
Right. This made me curious because you started during the MCO period, right? Like for you to go out and feed animals, don't you get stopped by the police and it's like, tak boleh lah.
Actually, to be honest, we do face some challenges. But what I did is I approached other NGOs during that time to get their support as well. So I believe some of the police officer also is a pet lover, animal lovers. So actually they do understand the situation because they can't do the feeding because they have their own responsibility and duty during that time. But when they allow is they say you can feed within 10 kilometer. So with the support of from other NGOs also, I managed to run the show lah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But speaking about the authorities, right? So may or may not be related to the authorities or what, but what in your opinion, Syira, is the common animal rights issues that we have now?
The issues that has been plaguing Malaysia for a long time is mostly the irresponsibility of some pet owners or pet caretakers. I would say pet dumping is still a big issue since ever since MCO. It peaks during MCO, but still is an issue today. I don't know. There's a lot of factor to it, but pet dumping because of irresponsibility, because they don't realize a lot of things that the animals can't do, and abuse cases. Right, there's still a lot of mistreatment of animals. They don't know how to take care of the pet, caging it, leashing it all the time, and even beating and to an extreme sense, torturing and killing. There's still those kind of cases. Do you think that's true, Kalai?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, the most high cases that Malaysia is facing is one is pet dumping, and another one is negligence. So we receive complaints almost every single day. There's at least about 3 people to 4 people will contact us, says my neighbor is actually torturing their pet. They don't feed their pet. They put the pet is under the hot sun and also rain. So this is like never stop. No matter how much of awareness that we do, even social media we cover up, and we also try to tell them that what is the impact when you do this negligence. They might don't know that there is no law cover for these animals. So we still facing these challenges.
So you have a hotline
Yes,
for
we
like
do have.
this kind of reports, right? Like, how do you respond to hotline? Like what you say, right? Like every day there's like 2-3 cases. I don't know if it's possible for you to attend to all of them or respond to all of them, but what's your take about this?
Okay, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have our website, right? So we have multiple channels to make a report actually. Why we do all these channels? Because we don't want to miss any single thing about animal that been abused. If let's say we respond late or we try to take our sweet times, it could end up in a life, animal life. So what we do is we try to respond as much as we can. I have my personal admin also to take care of my WhatsApp, and also I have all these emails coming in direct to my email. So what happened is, if let's say any serious case, right, we need immediate attention. That's why we will contact the authority, which is DVS, Jabatan Veterinary Malaysia, or Jabatan Perhilitan, which is we call as a wildlife. All right. So we will call that. If let's say any, we will always advise our those complaint. So we always tell them if there is a situation whereby, for example, a dog get trapped and so on, what they don't even know what to do actually. Actually, they always can do by their own self, or if let's say it's dangerous, they can contact Jabatan Boba or JPAM. Right, so it doesn't mean the NGO. Sometimes we are at KL, based in KL, but the cases could be in Sabah, Sarawak. So they don't even know what is the proper procedure because there's no proper guidelines by the government itself. So we will advise them. Okay, if let's say you face this negligence, what you have to, because we can't go enter someone's house and do some hero thing. We can't do that actually.
Because you need like warrant and all that,
yes,
right?
we need. So we do have so many procedures to follow, especially when we come under NGO. But it doesn't stop us to to save animal lives. So what we do is we advise them to do a police report. We advise them to make a report where the proper channel to go through. No, so at a point of time that where the authorities such as DVS they don't have clue or something, that's why we step in. We will offer no, sometimes I believe there's a few cases that we offer 1,000 ringgit ganjaran, no, so called ganjaran to get a clue about the this one. So all successful findings we will pass to the DVS in sense that one is we voice out for the animals, another one is we are helping the governments to get a proper evidence so that they will get in charge in the court. So recently also one case, the lady a lady is killed a dog and he got charged for 30,000. So it just I think it's just 2 days ago lah. So it's like a victory for us because not is it's about when they see this kind of news coming out, okay, if you we kill the dog, abuse an animal, they get the charge. So they tend to get scared of the people when they read it. Oh, they can't do this because you will
There's
get
a law.
yeah. There's a law on
Mm.
this. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the worst case reported that you have seen or know of before? We're gonna ready the Michelle cam now. Where's the Michelle cam? Oh, it's not here. No, it's okay. We're gonna get the Michelle cam soon. But what is?
Apa tu
Oh,
khabar?
you want? Okay,
Yeah.
your story then.
The best.
Actually,
Yes.
the worst case, I don't even I don't know how to measure actually.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
worse, which is not
Mhm.
worse.
It's all
You-
bad.
Yeah. If let's say if we think that we putting an animal under the hot sun is not worse, I think that's worse,
Right.
right? And like but what I can tell is something that really disturbed me is I saw a cat, right? They burn it alive, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
wait, what?
that's number
Yeah.
one. Number two is they put a cat into the washing machine.
Oh yeah, I think that was quite famous. That was
was
viral
quite
for a
famous,
while.
very viral. And another case is they cut the cat hand and legs. So that's quite worse.
There was
lah.
I don't know, just when you say about the cutting hand, it was done by a neighbor
Neighbor.
who was mad at the neighbor,
Mm.
but take it out on the cat, innocent cat.
Yeah.
Left it to die like that.
And how did the owner respond to that?
They complain to us, right?
They complain to us. They bring it up to the social media because you see when end of the day when someone did to your cat, they get blood. No, it's like when someone did to the human, we know to go to a police station. But when someone did to your cat, they don't even know how to respond. So that's why we step in, advise them. Okay, you need to go do a police report.
Yes.
By end of the day, the case goes on lah. But the thing is, why are so cruel until you can do that to the cat?
Yeah.
What happened if let's say one day they should do your kids, no? When if they can chop a cat hand on leg,
They can do that to children.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's our point.
I'm looking over. We gotta have the Michelle cam. Oh man. Okay. All right. Wow. I mean, that took me a while to sink in, but okay. But speaking about like channels that people can go to, of course, they can go to the NGO and all that. They can even go to DBS directly if they want to,
Yes.
right? They can make reports there as well. But how do you feel about the current governance of animal rights?
All right. This is my personal view. It doesn't. I don't. Directly tell them what their weakness. But what I will tell the strength first. Okay. Right now, what they did is DBS before 2000. Now 2022. Okay. Before 2022, which is 2021 and before that, they don't have a proper system now. So called they only have phone numbers and email. So that's how all this why we are making a report. We have to call them or we have to shoot them an email. So it took a while for them to actually reply us, maybe 1 day or 2 days, and to go to the particular place and do the investigation. And they don't have the proper ticket system whereby they don't know whether they solve this case or not. Understand or not? And so when SAFM shoot an email, they took it as a very priority case, right? So that's why we use our power to actually push some cases, no. Whereby when a normal person do a report, they don't get much response. When the same case we ask for the updates, the next day itself full report will come out with the picture and so on. So right now, what happened in 2022? What they did is they come out with a website, so called it's like something a ticketing system also, whereby they can do a report instantly over there and they can follow up. They have a ticket number, report number, and so on. They can follow up. So I can see some improvement on the system on the government part. Like we are talking about the government actually, which is Jabatan Veterinary Malaysia. In entire Malaysia, there's only one for Jabatan Veterinary Malaysia is for cat, dog, and we call it as a domestic pets. Okay, if for wildlife we have this wildlife animal lah, right? So what they actually they have power, they have money and so on, but I feel that they could do more like NGO. We don't have much power, we don't have this much budget and to do everything, but we have this capable of doing things, because this word exactly told by a DBS officer. Is a very one of the penolong perkara told me. They said we have everything but we can't do much. You don't have anything but you can do much. It's best is we cooperate together lah. Alright, we work together. It's best to solve this national animal issue lah.
But what's stopping DBS from doing that? They like you said, they know that, oh, we have everything but we cannot do much. But why? What's stopping them?
Alright, okay. You see, when there's when we talk about animal rights, there's always an issue like human case also lah. Not all cases we get judgment properly, you know. So when we don't get judgment, this DVS have to follow their protocol. What their decision has been made lah, right? So, but when it comes to NGO, we will try to fight for the animal rights. So we can go up to the street level, holding a banner and so on. But the government can't do that. We can, when we receive a case, let's say we receive a case at the night, we can go the night itself to the spot. For example, like Banjay. We can open immediately. We can get a tent, we get a sponsor and try to open a booth over there. We try to save the animals. But DVS can't do that immediately because they don't plan before this. Understand? They don't plan, and if let's say they want to do something, they need their higher authority to give an approval for them. Okay, you can go now. Okay, so that's the problem. So they need some protocols to follow, and we also have our protocols, but we try to focus. We try to put the animal as our main priority lah before our protocol. Yeah.
So you would say that NGOs can be in other words, the hands and legs of the DBS.
Yes. Right.
Right. Okay. Cool. But also, well, of course, like SAFM specifically, not only cats, dogs, but also wildlife as well, like monkeys. We did talk off camera as well. This one I want to ask Syira, right? So, what is the like for yourself, right? What is the how do you deal with the social stigma of handling with dogs?
What do I think of the social stigma?
Like, don't people like, oh, kenapa you
feed the
pegang
dog.
anjing ke, kenapa you tolong anjing ke? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
I would say, like, especially in the community that I was coming from, the stigma is still there. However, because of social media, because of the young people, it is slowly but surely it is changing. There are a lot of Malay. I can say there are a lot of Malay feeders who feed dogs, who would happily feed dogs, and we are taught in Islam lah, like there's a protocol to handle so-called these the dogs, right? So some feeders would wear gloves, and they can and even in veterinary care, Muslim doctors would still tend to dogs. So there are procedures to it. So it's just a matter of enlightening society that there are ways that it's not wrong, especially if the dog is in need, if the animal, we are taught to be compassionate with animals in all religion, right? So the stigma is still there, but I'm hopeful that through changes, through constant education, enlightenment, the advocacy we do at SAFM, it will hopefully change soon.
Right. And also, neutering is also one of the things that is also globally known, like, kan, to help to curb the stray animals and all that. So there's also like some thoughts that says that, oh, you deny the animal punya rights of having children on their own. And that's why some people, they don't do that, despite it globally recognized as one of those ways. But what are your thoughts about this?
All right. Actually, what they say, I don't deny as well. But then it's when it's come in under Malaysia. Malaysia don't have this so-called system kawalan pembiakan. So there's only way for them to kawal the pembiakan is to kill, that's our local council is doing lah. They will catch the dog, catch the cat. They'll put it into the quarantine place. They wait for a few days. No one's come and adapt. And after they goes to they've been put to sleep, right? So that's the only way. So I believe, like, if let's say we talk about cruel, like, we stop the production of the animals, I think this is much more cruel, which is put to sleep immediately, no? Like DBK they only have 7 days. If let's say no one can come and adapt, then it might end up to put to sleep.
Only 7 days?
Only 7 days, yes. So, especially in Selangor itself, this stray dogs and cats is getting higher and higher. And the local council is, every week, I believe they're doing this, they're catching and so on. They've been receiving a lot of complaints from the public saying, hey, my place got disturbance by kacau ganggu by the dogs and cat. So I believe I want to save the life of the animals. I don't want to they end up to being sleep, right? So what is I suggest is if we say we control the population by doing spay neuter, at least they can be alive in this Malaysia.
There won't be as much disturbance lah, because when disturbance happens, because there's overpopulation of strays, they fight for food, they fight for territory. That's where people call and complain, and the government has to do something about it. And you said we can always, put them in the shelter, but shelters are always overpopulated. There's just no room in Klang Valley, especially in lots of towns and cities in Malaysia. Shelters are overpopulated, so what we can do 7 days, as surprising as it is, they will euthanize the catch dogs and cats.
Right. So, should shelters instead? There are certain shelters who have that kind of policy, right? So should shelters instead say that, okay, we have a limit, we cannot take any more, or what should be done if that's the case? Like, you cannot take everything at the end of the day, right? But what is the best way?
The best way is actually the shelter is they are well aware what they have to do when it comes to the dogs and cat, right? So I believe mostly the shelters either they have some limitation, because I spoken to many shelters owners. I try to understand what is their pain and pinch, So they said in the room, if they can fit only 10 dogs, they only can fit 10 dogs. So in the particular space, if let's say they now put in the 40 dogs, they end up fighting each other the dogs, right? And also it end up
spreading disease.
Yeah, spreading disease, and the quality of the dogs.
Quality of the life.
So then what they are doing is they instead of keeping a particular dog for a long time, they doing adoption drive also by their own shelter. So they have an adoption drive. But the problem is, our people, they want to save a life from the stray, but they can't bring it to their home. So I don't blame them, but they thought the shelter is the only place. Actually, they have to find their own initiative to find a good adapter. So instead of always dumping into the shelter, and shelter, what their problem is, sometimes they put it as this way, where people call the shelter said, no, we are full. The next day they will do what? They dump the puppies right in front of their shelter. So as a shelter owner, what they're supposed to do, either they also ignore it, or they will take it. Obviously, they're going to take it. So that's why when you call most of the shelter, they say full. And yeah, we also facing this problem actually. Yes.
Yeah, if I can
Yeah.
add into what Kalai said about pet dumping just now, right? It extends back to the realization of what it means to have a pet. Because it happens to all people. Like we want to take care of the dog and cat when it's puppy, but suddenly we have financial issue or health issue, or we have to move to a place that don't accept. But it can happen to everyone. But instead of simply relying on the shelter to, at the end of the day, I can just dump it. It's out of sight, out of mind kind of mentality, and that's dangerous. Every pet owner should have that initiative of their own, asking family and friends, finding rehoming. There's a lot of website and pet groups in social media who's willing to get rehome instead of just dumping it either in a dumpster, pasar or shelter lah. So the out of sight, out of mind mentality is very dangerous to the pet. Yeah. And if I can add a little bit more on that, the reason why some pet owner, they tend to prefer some breed. You know what I mean, right? They want this kind of cat or this kind of dog because of the breed or whatever. It's fine if you can take care of it. There's a lot of pedigree pet owners who's very responsible. I believe that. But there are still cases. The reality is we can find Persian cats and ragdolls in the streets, and people are like, "Hey, this cat is worth 5K in the market. What is it doing in the street looking malnourished, like it has been dumped somewhere?" So it happens. So the realization that having a pet is not like having a toy, not something that you can just dump when you're done with it. It has to be changed. Yeah, this is something I believe that has to be done something. Sorry, I'm rambling again.
It's okay. That reminds me of a personal story as well. So I was at this shelter in Subang. They recently, in recent times, they relocated. You probably know which one. So I was at this shelter and I was sending some food to the shelter, and then I hang out for a while, look at the cats, dogs there, and then there was this family who came with a basket of kittens, and then they said that, can we surrender this to the shelter?
A whole basket.
A whole basket of kittens. I think they were like not really newborn, but maybe 1 month old, something like that. And then the shelter person had to convince the person to say, you take care of it lah, don't just hand it over to the shelter and all that. And then I was like listening to the conversation, and then the conversation went, at the end I was like, they still wanted to surrender it. And then the shelter said, okay, if you really want to surrender, there is a surrender fee to pay. The moment they mentioned the surrender fee, then
Changing their mind.
Yeah, the person changed their mind and walked away. But God knows what happens to the cats after that lah. Yeah, maybe they got left in front of the door the next day or something. I don't know. So this is also one of the things that I think people are not aware of. Like, just sending it to the shelter doesn't solve the problem. Yeah, it's not end story there. Right. Very interesting. And so about the animal rights system currently, right? Whether it's governance and all that. Like, what do you think are the things that can be done better?
All right. When we talk about system, right, we should have more ways to make a report actually, So because there should be a hotline number, right, for animal abuse case. There should be another hotline number, or there can be a same hotline number for if let's say a dog or cat, had a road accident, injured, So because that time they want to save the life, they don't know where to call. They start to call everyone, the social media, their friends. But at the end of the day, because of the delay, right, the animal should be die, because it's like us. When we met an accident, we need a faster movement. We need the ambulance to come on time to save a life. Same goes to the animal as well. So there should be a proper channel also, and the government actually should give an allocation for the animals, kebajikan haiwan in Malaysia. So if let's say they give, the fund, right, the allocation should goes properly to the registered NGO. So it's not like only jabatan holding the amount and we don't know what they are doing, So they, because I noticed that in jabatan haiwan there is a not only dog or cat, there's a peternakan as well.
Yeah.
So like for kuda, peternakan arnab, kambing, so. So I don't know whether the fund is actually goes to all at the same level. All right. If let's say they have an allocation, make sure they have a proper allocation for peternakan and also for the domestic animals, right? So that they can improve the system. So when they have a proper plans and so on, they can work with the NGO. They should give a program to the NGO to run because they don't know how to run it. They are working for the governments. We are working for the animals. So there's a difference actually. So we know how to handle the animals. We know how to handle this program. We have solutions in our hand. But when we approach it, we don't get a proper response on that.
Do you think that it's actually like even above jabatan, like maybe like really from the top, like maybe the national budget that says that allocates minimal for this kind of programs, or is it really like from there it's big enough, the pie is big enough for everyone, or do you think the pie is just too small?
Actually, I believe. All right, this is we're gonna talk about the budget lah.
Okay.
No, every day they have a budget, right? Every year, right? So when the government put a budget, they should put for the animals as well. So when they put in a budget, so far we don't get any budget for that. Never, Malaysia never.
Right.
So
when you say we means,
I mean
all the NGOs?
the government.
Oh, government.
The government don't have budget for the.
As in Jabatan Kebajikan.
No, I mean talking about the when not every day they'll do the budget 2022.
Oh yeah, the entire.
The entire.
Right.
So when they have, they don't have the budget. So what they will do is they will use the fund from the allocation which minister get, right? Contoh is when the minister get the particular fund to do programs and also to run their organization to pay their staff. So they use the small amount to run the Jabatan Veterinary Malaysia as well. So when they have small amount, they don't have much capable to collaborate with other NGO and pay for the program, sponsor for the programs. So that's the problem. So the top is from the budget. If let's say they have something for the highway, it means definitely NGO will get. The problem is they don't have fund for that because that's not main priority.
Yeah. Like when we talk about what policy should get, which is it women's development, education, climate change, animal rights don't get that kind of thing since the top down. So the question of is the pie too big or is there enough for everyone? I would say, we don't ask for a lot, but there's no bottom line to it.
There's no pie to begin with.
There's no pie to begin with.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then like how do NGOs survive or run without support, without that kind of financial support to government? Because to be real, right, as much as you want to do things, as much as you are passionate about certain topics, without financial backing, it is always very, very difficult. So like how do NGOs survive on that?
Right, we survive. Of course, we're going to say we are surviving using a public fund. All right. So if let's say we have any programs such as Misi Banjir, right? So we get a good response from the public as well. So when we start a thing, they will start to finding whether it's $10 or it's gonna be 100 ringgit, right? They will do their part. So with that, with the amount of the public fund, and so we have a Shopee platform as well. All right, that's number 2 lah. So we're getting a fund from the Shopee donation, and also we will do events such as the pet exhibitions, to have some backup money for us, for us to do the next program. Now it's like raining season, anytime anything will happen. So I believe if let's say anything happen in, for example, Selangor or Kuala Lumpur, right? I think we know what to do really because we had an experience, and this time, of course, we will able to respond immediately. But for run the show, because there's involved transport, there's involved pet cables and so on, right? it's gonna go cost a lot. Like if let's say we were gonna do one week program, right, and for that we need a fund. So what we do is instead of we spending money for unnecessary like shelter and so on, we try to have this money for this kind of emergency programs. If let's say everything goes smooth, is we will do the other programs such as adoption drive. We will do,
Street feeding.
street feeding and so on. So for now, for these particular 2 months, we stop everything lah. We try
Yeah.
to have some allocation for that.
We
Yeah.
rely mostly on public donations. We like Kalai said, we use our social media to put up a poster. This is our tabung dana for misi banje or street feeding or all the programs that we do. There's a Shopee platform for people to donate using the Shopee app. Yeah, and as Kalai said lah, like we rely mostly on that lah for now. We try to do fundraising. So as much as we can collaborate with an event organizer, have our booth there, try to sell merch or something. But most of the time, we just ask for donations online.
Right. So one of the strong advocates of animal rights in Malaysia is the Sultana of Selangor.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yes.
So I've seen her in events. She would turun padang herself and all that and show her support. So how much of her support has impacted this community or the NGOs, in your opinion?
Okay, in my opinion is I'm really happy when she voiced out, right, about the animals, because when it's involved Selangor, right, we have a lot of cases, abuse cases, not only from the public, of course, or from the authorities, some of the authorities as well, right. But then when she voiced out on that, there is a room for us to actually voice out more, and our voice has been heard. If let's say she don't voice out, even we voice out, nobody is
nobody
gonna look
care.
at us. So when we voice out and also she voice out, it's the same point. That's going to make some changes and make sense for some authorities. So I hope that's not stopped from the end. And I know she been before SAFM exists. She been loved these animals. She was with other NGO as well. So I'm really happy that because when she was out, right, the minister, the Menteri Besar and the other authority also know about this. And also we will particularly gonna pick what her lines is. Right. She says about control population. So when we voice out, we use that point.
We use that quote.
That quote from her. So it's really
It
helps
gives
us.
more weight
Yeah.
to the whatever we say.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And because she has also like mentioned some things as well. She herself turun padang at
Yes.
some events, so that's amazing. I think that really sends a message to the public, general public. But how about like cross collaborations across NGOs, and you did mention about government bodies already, but about NGOs, like is there like a culture of collaboration between NGOs in Malaysia for these kind of things?
Right. We do collaborate as well, especially when it comes to the animal rights. All right. Besides that, if let's say any emergency like Missy Banjir, we do collaborate as well. So and also, but we need more collaboration. Actually, we need to do more collaboration because maybe they have shelter, but they don't have time. No, when we have this collaboration, in huge impact. They're going to be a huge impact for the authorities like governments, right? Let's say in Malaysia, I believe we have what more than 150 NGOs that been running for this animal. Either they're having a shelter or they are animal rights, welfare. But then, if let's say we are merged together, we want something. For example, the change of law, or we want an allocation. It could be heard louder. But then for now, it's like we're still taking time, to do this collaboration. But I believe if let's say any related to the animal rights or like say abuse case, we will collaborate. Definitely, we will collaborate. So it's happened. It's already happened. But I hope it's not stopped only from that side because we need much more on the animal rights. We need to bring it to the government. So it's not one person have to go there. It should be every angle in the Malaysia. All NGO have to come out. Do sign a petition. We're gonna submit to the government so that they have more weight on the punishment, and also an allocation for the animals, so that the Malaysia is will be the one of the best country in handling animals. Yeah, my hope is on that.
You mentioned something interesting about like punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta go a little bit about this. Whenever a case happens and then it's reported on the media and all that, some punishment seems to be a little bit lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If the same thing happens to a human, the punishment, the gap punishment is huge, right? So, what do you think about the that level of punishment? Is it too light, or I don't know? What's your thoughts about it? Maybe. Can you share?
Actually, I believe is too light. Actually, it's too light because some cases I noticed, even they pay 2,000 or 3,000, they can actually get jamin and so on.
Can you give an example of like situation and punishment, just to illustrate?
Yes.
The lightweight.
There's one case whereby the lorry, what he did, he tied and a dog, right, and then he started to drive the lorry. So it's been the dog has been headache lah. So that particular case, when it goes to the court, all right, easily they only pay like I think a few thousand, or 5 or 6,000, I think, and also he get jamin. So that's amount of 5,000 or 6,000 is just for some people it's like too little for them, right? So I believe like if let's say they've been charged like at least 3 years of jail or 4 years of jail, right? That could be given a huge impact to the others to not to do this kind of activities. When they just charge them about few thousands, right? They feel okay. So what? End of the day, if I get caught also, I only just have to pay money and get rid of it. So I believe the government should actually revise back the Akta Kebajikan, because previously we was using since the Akta Kebajikan 1953, right, before Merdeka.
The same Akta 1953 until now.
I know. Recently it's been changed at 2015.
Okay.
2015. But when they change, they get better, but it's not enough for now.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not enough. So right now, I believe like, because when the government also have to think what happened when they revise back the Akta is actually lower their work, because less cases, less headache, and nobody actually involving on this much, so it'll be okay. Because and those, it's not like those days. Those days, if you kick animal, nobody bothers. Now everyone have phone on their hand. If let's say they record and put it in social media, it's become viral. It's become, I believe, until, as you said, the Tengku Selangor also, Provinsi Selangor also start to have a comment on that on their social media. So it means it's really viral. So we want to stop all this, because this will give impact to the other country, because other country also has been watching us. I believe one of my case has been picked up by
LA, some small newspaper in Los Angeles.
Oh yes, yeah. So in Los Angeles, so it's like a shame for us lah, because when we voice up, we don't know who actually will be looking at us. It could be local, it could be Chinese media, it could be Indian media. When it gets spread, most of my cases will pick up in Indonesia also.
These are the cases that were picked up internationally.
Internationally, yeah. So actually, it's not right lah. As what Mahatma Gandhi says, the value of the value of the animals, like how we gonna take care of them, it shows that how good country it is. So I think this should be take an immediate effect lah. Yeah, it really must improve lah. If not, means it will get very worse. Yeah.
Because what is the point of punishment? There's a lot of reason why you punish somebody, either by locking him up, fining or paying someone is to first tell people that this is wrong at an institutional level. There's an ACTA for it and everything, that this is wrong, kicking a cat is wrong. Second is to hopefully deter, but that is up for debate whether that kind of punishment is effective or not. But it's also to show, to give a voice and sense of justice at the end of the day. How much we put the level of and the brevity of the punishment shows how much we care about certain things. We care about a human life, so this is the amount of punishment we give. We care about an animal life, how much punishment we think is enough for the judge. Because at the end of the day, if an animal is already dead because of that crime, it will never be enough, right? But it's a statement to the public, and it's a statement to our principle as a nation. Where do we put animal in our society? Do they matter at the end of the day? As what Kalai has quoted Mahatma Gandhi just now lah.
I really like the quote earlier on. I think that's very, very meaningful as well. Okay, so it was revised from 1953 and then revised at 2015, as what you mentioned. It wasn't too long ago, right? Why do you think after the revision it still feels very lightweight?
Yeah, it's because maybe before 2015 we don't use much social media, but now we start to use a lot of social media. We almost get the actual amount of the abuse case, because everyone start to reporting. But I believe it's not efficient, as what Syira said lah. It's not efficient at all, because I've been receiving different kind of type of ways they abuse the animals. Some they chop, some they burn, some even recently
they put archery. They do
use archery.
That was quite new.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So recently also, they deliver the dogs in the bathroom. The beating, So it's happened in the apartment. So another neighbor, from there he can see clearly what the dog doing, what the man doing to the dog. So when they approached the man said they want to give, but he been using the rod to beat the dog. So I think that's what I think, because one, I don't know whether the punishment is too light or they don't aware about the punishment. All right, but when somebody get caught, right, they just have to pay the particular few thousands and get rid of it. I feel that it's not worth for the life of animal. It's not worth. So because the torture, because this kind of people, they need I believe medical treatment lah in my way. So because
psychological tests, they're right in the mind.
Because one day they will do this to, if let's say they babysit any kids, so the same method they're going to do at Israel. They have the sign to become a criminal. So if let's say this thing doesn't stop, right, then it will get very worse. Yeah.
At SAFM, we do believe that animal abusers have a chance to be to do something worse in the future. Yeah, that's why we have to stop the animal abuse in the first place.
Right. Okay. So what's next for SAFM?
The next is we're still going to raise our concern about animals' rights, and also we're gonna still voice out. And this will never end until we reach our ultimate goal, whereby the Malaysian government have some proper channel for dogs. They have an allocation, and every state they have a shelter, right?
Like what police is doing?
Yes, like Penang, like stray free. For the they do the all the strays. They do the spay neuter for all the strays, and I think it's like control, no? So if let's say all the Malaysian has this, and when the population, we control the population, we control the kacau ganggu. When we control the kacau ganggu, we control the animal abuse case. That's how the hierarchy work. So we will still work to this point lah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we are pretty much almost at the end of our podcast as well. But before we end the show, any message you would like to send to the public about animal awareness in your own words?
Okay. For me, right, if let's say my only advice is, if let's say you find any abuse case, right, please don't stop, because they don't have mouth, they don't know how to make a complaint also, right? So you are the voice of the animal, so you have to actually voice out for the animals. Reach out, even if you don't know where to reach out, you can't contact any NGOs or you can't contact any authorities, at least reach out police, right? You can call 999, or you can call any NGO, right, like SAFM, right? Just don't stop, at least post in the social media so that the word can spread and somebody will step in to help actually, right? And another thing is, don't wait. If let's say you find any emergency situation, don't wait until someone come and help the animals. You have, if you have the chance to bring the pets to veterinary, or you have the chance to stop an abuse case, all right, you should do it at your end, all right. So because all end of the day is, we all actually have humanity. It doesn't means we only have for human, also for animal as well. Save a life. Thank you.
If I could say, a closing speech, there are many levels of how we can do change and how we can improve our justice system for the animals. On a micro level, as Kalai said, do your part, be an advocate of yourself. Everyone has social media accounts, everyone has their own followers. Join, volunteer if you can. If you cannot, use that platform that you have to advocate for animals. Share even, tips on how to spay and neuter, for example. Everyone needs that enlightenment sometimes. On a macro level, voice out policies that can bring institutional change to our animal justice system. Just to add on what Kalai said about the kacau ganggu just now, I would say some of the animal abuse case happen where they take things on their own hand is because the kacau ganggu, the disturbances in the neighborhood becomes too extreme. Like imagine there's lots of dogs or cats that scatter your sampah, for example. You don't know where to go because they don't have that enlightenment or education and awareness that there are better avenues to do. Instead, they poison the animals because that's the only thing they know. Kill the pests, get rid of it, out of sight, out of mind. So if we can change that institutionally, having budget for stray and neuter, making the government more aware of this pertinent issue, kacau ganggu will hopefully, overpopulation will be controlled. There will be less disturbances. There will be less poison cases, less animal abuse. Hopefully, that's the jalan that we can go lah. Yeah. So on macro level, there's many ways that you can do. So yeah, do your part, guys. Love animals. They don't have mouth, as Kalai said. They don't have voice. So it's up to us as prihatin people.
Thank you. And if people want to be prihatin out there, they want to get more information about SAFM, and if they want to know how they can support SAFM, how can they get in touch, or what are the channels they can go to?
All right, they can visit our website. Our website is very straightforward: www.animal.org.my. And also they can search our name, Persatuan Haiwan Terbiar Malaysia, in our Google or Facebook and Instagram. Yes.
We have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have two Instagram. We have a website, animal.org.my. Persatuan Haiwan Terbiar or SAFM on Google search.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. And we're at the end of our podcast. So thank you, Kalai. Thank you, Syira.
Thank you
for the sharing session. It was very insightful as well. And I think it's very educational for the general public too. So that will be all, ladies and gentlemen, for our podcast for this session. Before we end the show, we'd like to again thank our sponsor, which is Langkawi Pier, as well as our beautiful location here, Route 77 of Kuala Lumpur, which is also the Harley Davidson showroom as well. And if you would like to know certain topics about in future podcasts, do let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well wherever you're watching this. And if you yourself would like to be part of the podcast, slide into our DMs, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, or any channel where the Crit Podcast is at. And we'll probably get back to you. My name is Syira Kalai. Thank you again for watching this, and we'll see you in the next podcast.